to Moore.
I can't get enough of watching that. A feat, again, so rare. It has only happened 16 times in the history of baseball. Last night we saw Texas Rangers. Josh Hamilton, he clocked 4 home runs in a single game. Darren Everson, our sports correspondent, is making his way onto the set right now. He's going to tell us, really put this in perspective for us about what kind of a feat this year. What a year for baseball in general.
It's incredible.
We've had a perfect game pitched, and we've had 4 home runs 16 times.
We've had a cycle also, and we've had a no-hitter. Yeah, it's crazy. It's almost gotten to the point where you're wondering how rare these feats are. But the 4 home runs doesn't happen very often, as you just said, 16 times. Personally, we were just talking about this downstairs in the sports department. I'm still waiting for the 5 home run game.
Right.
Not to criticize what Josh did.
Has that ever happened?
Never happened. He also had a double, so he came somewhat close. But that's one thing that we haven't had yet.
And he also set an American League record as well last night. What was that?
That was the total bases. I believe it was 18, because you get 4 for the home runs for each home run, and then 2 for the double as well. He had 8 RBI. Pretty decent game last night for the Rangers.
Josh Hamilton's having an incredible year all around, and this is after overcoming some adversity in his own personal life.
Absolutely. I mean, he obviously was a guy going back. He was a big prospect for the Tampa Bay Rays, but that didn't work out. He had a lot of problems off the field with alcoholism, but he's completely remade himself. He's been a big star in the American League for a while now. And the Rangers, it's funny, they've come close now a couple times to winning the World Series. Obviously a disastrous end to last season where they had it won and they blew it. But again, they look like the best team in baseball by far when they're fully healthy. And so last night you saw again just what this team can do.
Now, talking about these feats and these milestones that are achieved in baseball, again, let's go to the perfect game that was pitched. Now, that was the White Sox, is that right?
That's right.
Tell us, and tell people who don't watch baseball what exactly a perfect game is and why it's so hard to do. Right.
Well, it's 27 up, 27 down, or at least getting everybody out. You can have a perfect game that goes into extra innings, which is obviously harder to do. But it's so uncommon just because somewhere along the line you either can have a walk, you can have an error, which wouldn't even necessarily be your own fault.
Right.
But if anybody reaches base, it's no longer a perfect game. You can still get a no-hitter. But so that you've had some of those somewhat recently. Roy Halladay had one a couple of years ago. It seems like the pace of those has been picking up lately. But a perfect game at this point is still one of the more uncommon feats. This is something else that we were talking about. Like, what is the most rare feat right now in baseball?
Right.
I think it's the 4 home run game.
Yeah.
Unassisted triple plays are another one that you don't see very often. The no-hitter, which is still celebrated as a big deal, actually it happens quite a bit. There have been almost 200 of those in Major League history. But really right now it's the perfect game and the 4 home run game.
I was having this conversation with somebody the other night, and I asked them, and they didn't know, but they thought it had never happened. But has there ever been a game where a pitcher has pitched and nobody's put any wood on a ball at all that you know of? I don't think that's...
But actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because there is such a thing as an immaculate inning, which doesn't happen very often, in which you get 3 strikeouts as the pitcher and on 9 pitches, meaning nobody puts the ball into play in any way, shape, or form. And that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But that's only 1 inning.
True.
Doing that for an entire game is, I think, quite impossible.